Hello, everyone. This is Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Wanted to just get on right now and welcome you to the Balance Doctor Show. You are in for a treat because I have with me today in the studio none other than Miss Anaja Barksdale. How are
Hi,
you?
everyone.
Hey, Anaja.
Hi. Hi.
So some of you guys are getting to see us and others are getting to hear us. But either way, you're going to see and hear a fantastic show today on the Balance Doctor Show. With me as your host, Kim Jacobs. And I love bringing on people that I think will be beneficial to my audience to be able to hear from some phenomenal people that are just doing wonderful things in this world, and they're really going about life, balancing their own lives in a very creative way. So Anija, as I talk about you, first of all, I want everybody to know from your perspective,
Mhm.
what's happened, like as far as your background, what brought you to where you are today? Tell people about yourself.
Okay, so my background, I went to Johnson C. Smith University and I graduated with a communication arts degree in journalism communication. And so I launched my dream job at Spectrum News now. And it was a job that I just prayed for, I fasted for, and I really just thought that I was going to be a news reporter. And so I was with the company for basically 4 years, and I also had a desire to be a full-time Mary Kay beauty consultant and slash director. So I thought that I could merge the two together, and God obviously had a different plan for me. So
Okay, well, let me interject right there for a
yeah.
moment because I actually had the opportunity of meeting Anija at our church at the Rock Worship Center. And when I met her, she was actually one of the greeters
Yes.
at the Rock.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's going to want to come to the Rock Worship Center only because they get the opportunity to see her beautiful, beautiful face. And so whenever that happened, I was like, get out of here. Because, she came on and I actually took her from working as a greeter to being able to work alongside me because I really felt very comfortable with her and 100% trust her with my family, my children, and working to help the ministry grow, but also kind of like making sure everything's right with me and my family because I do need the help. And before I was like, I don't really like asking people for help at all. But with her, I was able to ask for the help, and she's been more than willing to provide it. So I just want to say to you publicly, thank you.
It's an honor.
Thank you,
It's an
thank you, thank
honor.
you.
It's an honor.
And on this show today, she was like, I'm going to call you Lady Kim. And I said, no, just call me Kim. And what was your response?
God is going to get me. I never address my leaders like that, or even elderly people. I always say Mrs., yes ma'am, no ma'am, and for you to tell me to call you
Oh yeah,
by
you
your
have to
first
call me
name.
Kim today on the show. So
God
so if
forgive me.
you will not hear her calling me Lady Kim, she has full permission to call me Kim on the Balance Doctor Show today. So I wanted you to come on today, Anaja, because you're a single young lady, you're very well poised and a woman of standard. And there are a lot of women that are single listening to the show or watching the show, and they need to know how they can go about balancing their lives without feeling overwhelmed. Can you give any advice on that?
Absolutely. So the first thing first is just to make sure that you have your relationship with God. I cannot stress that enough because I mean to even be transparent, I've been in a relationship before that was not in God's will. So you always want to make sure that you're dealing with someone that is led by God. And you know that too, if you're not even in a relationship at the moment, just make sure that you're pouring all that time into yourself and developing what God wants you to develop at that time as being a single person.
And what has been like one of the most difficult struggles for you as a single woman and balancing your own life?
I think one of the difficult things was just my patience, is just making sure that and realizing that God, you know, He put the desire of marriage in my heart. So I know that He is going to bring my spouse. because he wouldn't have
Oh,
given me
he's
that.
going to bring your spouse because everybody's going to be like, I need her. Look at her. Look at her. And guys, if you're just listening to the show, make sure that you go to my Facebook page, Kim Jacobs, or to the Balance Doctor page and see a picture of Anaja Marie Barksdale. She is gorgeous, like literally. So anyway, go ahead.
I would just make sure that you're following, the things that God has in store for you in this season. Just make sure that you're pouring yourself into your career. You're pouring yourself into serving. You're pouring yourself into, praying and seeking God. Those are the things that, before I had my patience that I have now, that was a struggle for me. That really, I was like, oh my gosh, when am I going to get married? I want to have kids. I want to have this big old family and all this. But God said, look, you have to develop you first and your skills and your career and your prayer life and your fasting life and all that. So
interesting. Very good. Good advice. See, all of you single people out there, you want to be able to hear from other people that are surviving and thriving, and they're doing a great job in their own spiritual walk and in their singlehoodness, if that makes sense. But I know that you were in corporate world, and that is very difficult to just uproot yourself and leave. How was it with you leaving corporate America and becoming a full-time entrepreneur? How was that process for you?
The process, actually, it was such a smooth transition. But before I transitioned, I asked God. I went on the fast because I was telling you about it. I told my mom. I only told key people. I didn't tell everybody. Of course, people, my work family knew. A lot of people at my church knew. But a lot of my family members didn't know. Some people I just didn't tell because when I was transitioning, I wanted to make sure that I was hearing from God. I wanted to make sure that He was the one telling me to leave my job and become a full-time entrepreneur in my Mary Kay business. So that was the main thing, is just making sure that I was fasting, I was hearing and being led by His Spirit.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Mary Kay, they have won a jewel by being able to bring you on board, and now to be able to have you be full time in your Mary Kay business. Tell us what that's like for you.
I love it. I'm so
you seem
happy.
So happy. I see you on all of your
that.
pictures.
I'm so happy.
Well, first of all, how can people even find you on Mary Kay?
Well, you can go to my Facebook page. It's Anaja Marie Barksdale. That's my name. And I also have Glamour Talk with Anaja Marie. That's through my Facebook page as well. And I'm on Instagram as Anaja Marie. So
Anaja Marie, and you definitely want to look her up. Okay, so tell us about this flourishing business now that you've did this whole faith walk, transitioning from corporate America to your Mary Kay business full time. Tell us about that.
So I left my job a little bit over a month ago. May 17th is when I left my job. And I was a nervous wreck. I was sick to my stomach because I'm used to, just knowing that my full-time benefits and I'm not saying you don't get benefits with Mary Kay, because you do, but still it was just a security blanket.
Right.
Like, I was comfortable for 4 years with my dream job at the time, so I was thinking that this was it, and I was going to be able to work full-time at Spectrum Media as a traffic specialist and branching off to be a news reporter, and I was going to be able to be a full-time Mary Kay sales director. So, but that's not what God had told me. That wasn't His plan. So anyways, so as a full-time Mary Kay sales director, I love it. I love the fact that God has chosen me to just change and enrich other women's lives. Like, every woman that I meet, they have a different walk. Every woman, has a different story, and just being able to help them. Like, God chose me to be able to help them.
And I can see all over social media, all of the women and the diverse women that are a part of your group. Tell us a little bit about the mixture of women that have joined your team.
So I am not fluent in Spanish yet.
Okay. But you have a lot of Hispanic people.
Yes, ma'am. So the unit that I'm birthed out of is Latino. So Indira, my sales director, she's from DR, Dominican Republic. And
she's beautiful too.
She's gorgeous. Everyone is gorgeous. All of my mentors in the business. And so the Mary Kay daughters that I have now are some are from DR, some are from Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, all over the world. U.S., of course, and different parts of the states in this country. So But I don't let anything be get in the way. I don't like fear, because before, fear was one of my biggest obstacles of working this business. You
Yes.
know,
Oh, yes.
you and my mom know, like, I did not even want to pass out my business card. I was so shy to talk to people. I
And you're
didn't.
so beautiful. And I know I keep reiterating that, but it's like if people know that you are a Mary Kay representative, then they're going to want to do whatever you're doing because they're like, if it can make me remotely look like that, then I want to be a part of it. So I could imagine your team would grow by leaps and
I
bounds, you know?
love it. I love the diverse. I love that, we don't let any obstacles, any boundaries, any language, any walks of life, any paths, anything get in our way of just helping the next person. It's like we're all a team, literally.
Oh.
On Facebook is what you see is what it really is.
So what's the most exciting thing that's happened since you transitioned from the corporate world to your own full-time business?
I think the most exciting thing is just the things that God has, and I know this may not be like, oh my gosh, this is. I mean, because the level, the career path, that's, of course, that's, definitely exciting. But I think the biggest thing for me has been the fact that the promises that God told me before leaving and the transition,
Mm-hmm.
He's brought them to pass.
And can you give me any example of anything that's been brought to pass?
So before I left my job, when I was still there, one of the reasons I was still afraid is because I wasn't close to even being a sales director. And this was just over a month ago. Like, I was in leadership in Mary Kay, but I wasn't nowhere near as being a Mary Kay sales director. And here God is telling me to do something, but I didn't see how He was going to make that happen because I was not close to my goal. But through His word, by fasting and prayer, I saw in the, because I had told you what He had said to me through a scripture in the book of Luke about the parable of the banquet, Him inviting me to the banquet.
Yes.
Either you do it now or you just literally, like, you're going to miss out to the next time if that season comes back around. But anyway, so during that time, it was a time for me to really just just jump, just take that leap of faith, and I did it. And so even to now, to see that God has really, what He told me then in that story, and seeing what He's doing in my life and my Mary Kay business now, like, we're a few steps away of closing to be a directorship unit.
Ooh,
the first African American sales director unit in our whole area. So that's a big deal. That's
bravo.
Yeah.
Everybody should be celebrating.
I'm so excited.
And so how would people go about getting in touch with you if they want to stay connected with you through Facebook, through any of the social media sites? Tell, especially the viewers, because I'm going to continue on with the listeners, but I really want the viewers to be able to know how they can get in touch with you.
You can go to my Facebook page, Anaja Marie Barksdale, Anaja Marie Barksdale, Barksdale, and it's the same on Instagram and on my Glamour Talk with Anaja Marie as well.
And any special things that you want to say to your managing director or to any of the people that you work with in the Mary Kay business?
I'm just grateful. I'm excited because one of the things that Indira has always told me, because Indira is very... I have no choice but to be great and excellent. Like, from my mom, from my spiritual leader, and from my sales director, like, she just told me to make sure that you always be the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Not for her, not for me, but to give God His glory.
Well, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired. I'm so inspired. I love you. And you guys that are listening, you can't hear the amount of love through the airways probably, but those that are watching, Anaja is just a tremendous blessing to anyone that she encounters. So if you have not learned about her Mary Kay business, make sure that you look her up at Anaja Marie right away and be able to learn more about the business that she's ventured out into. And for you that are single moms, single women, and you're looking for something that you can do on a part-time basis, not exactly sure what to do, then give this an opportunity to see if this could be something that could change your whole outlook of your life. And from a balance perspective, she's balancing business, ministry, and family. And I would love for you to connect with her to learn more about how you can do that. Make sure that you visit thebalancedoctor.tv so that you can sign up for my emails if you're not a part of receiving my emails. And for all of the viewers, that's what I have to say right now to you guys.